It would probably help if I pulled that off, wouldn't it? Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. Let's put that over there now. Good morning, Shito. How are you doing, mate? Oh boy, this is giving me a tiny bit of anxiety because I just upgraded my monitor, and everything's different. Oh boy. Let me see. Oh, I'm looking, actually, that's not looking half bad. I'm getting a lot of, a lot of monitor glare, but if I do that, yeah, it goes back to being kind of lighter. So let's bring that back up. How is everybody? I am tired, as you can probably hear. But I am excited to get back to the bot. Horror, good morning, mate. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome back to the lab. Yeah, I'm still not sure what to do with all of this monitor space. For context, so I purchased a new monitor. I purchased a 32-inch 4K curved monitor. I figured, all right, fine. I will join the 4K crowd, mostly because of the PS5. And yeah. I kind of had a little bit of a panic moment last night. So I finished work, disconnected everything, got the new monitor in, plugged everything back in, and obviously the first thing was just like, whoa. Still kind of getting used to the monitor curve, but it already feels more comfortable, which is really nice. But then I turned OBS on. Which one is it? It is a Dell insert model number here. 1 second. Here we go. Where'd you go? It is a Dell S321QS. I will drop that into here. It was one of those monitors that I bought for a couple of reasons, which some of those reasons I'm starting to regret just a little bit. It was a 4K 60 hertz curved 32-inch monitor. I kind of wanted to go back to 32-inch prior to the monitor that I had, which of course I don't have in here anymore. I had a BenQ 27-inch monitor. Also, that is very bright. Holy crap. I had a 27-inch BenQ monitor, and that was actually my daily driver for a good while. Fantastic monitor. It was a 1440p monitor, but to be perfectly honest, I really wasn't that concerned about 1440p versus 4K. But it was a fantastic monitor. But I decided to swap for a couple of things, but definitely wanted to kind of give 4K a try. And oh my god, Chaos, good morning, mate. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever applies. Yes, so we are continuing the tradition of coffee on Saturday streams. Matcha on Tuesday, coffee on Saturday. Technically speaking, it's coffee every day, but you guys get to see me drink coffee, so whoops. Oof, I've got a little bit of a... I don't even know what's going on with the hair right now. I desperately need to cut my hair, but I had to order a new set of shavers, so we will get there. We will get back to less shaggy at some point. Good morning, doll. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. So just as a heads up for everybody, so I still have the split monitor set up in terms of what's the word? In terms of, so this is the side that you guys will see. This is the side where I have things like OBS and chat and so forth. So you're gonna see me doing this a lot. I apologize in advance. We'll talk again when you have long hair. Well, that is I'm kind of sort of trying to grow the top part out. So I am gonna do an undercut. I might try a fade, but it genuinely depends on how much time I want to dedicate to cutting my hair. Because I do cut my own hair, and before it was like a 2 guard down here and then a 6 guard up here, and that was the end of it. Because I'm very basic when it comes to hairstyle. But I do kind of sort of miss elements of my longer hair, except for that part. So I'm curious. We'll see what it looks like. All right, let me get Code Screen. First thing that I want to ask, how does the Code Screen look now? Is it super small? Is it condensed? Does it look weird? Again, so I had I did have, oh, and I see some crop failures here. Oh no. Let me get that fixed real quick. So let's see here. So we actually need to crop a little bit more of the bottom. Apologies for the click clack. And there's that one tiny little thin line. There we go. We fixed it. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. But yes, so again, I had to basically redo this OBS screen because I went from what was it? 2160 by 1440p, I think was my old monitor, to 3820, I think is what I'm at right now. Yeah, that kind of it kind of messed up things a little bit. So just wanted to double check that, at least from the code perspective, because on this view, on my OBS view, the code looks wonky. So I wanted to kind of double check whether or not that was still the case or not. I'm also realizing a bit of a flaw in this setup. Number one, I need to move my microphone boom over a little bit. Either that or I need to move the monitor over. As you can see, changes in setup have kind of goofed me a little bit. Alrighty. So, I wanted to kind of take the first part of this morning, and I wanted to talk about kind of reset on where we are, and also take a look at a pull request that Shito posted up. If Shito, if that's okay with you. So we are in the process of doing these 3 tickets, and I more or less brought them in as a group because it's kind of important to do all 3. The last one was less so of a dependency, but so number one, we wanted to basically decouple the bot from IRC. Everywhere in the handlers, in some of the code itself, everything in the bot was talking an IRC message, and an IRC message is okay. But now that we have PubSub, we're not just talking IRC. We're now talking other things. Hello, Rock Raid. Thank you so much for stopping by, mate. Welcome to the lab. Also, I am trying to kind of keep a little bit of a neutral. What's the phrase? I don't know what the phrase is. Hello, Officer Wolf. Good morning. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. I'm trying not to turn too far away from the microphone, but also trying to not turn directly to the microphone, because when I get too close to the microphone, we end up with a little something like this. Yes, so now that we have PubSub, we are not just talking IRC messages, we are talking all kinds of messages. And so we attempted to create a kind of a singular message type that the bot will understand. And now our clients have to receive messages in their format and then formulate them into a bot message or a bot event, and that's what gets sent to the bot. So how does PubSub work compared to IRC? Do you receive JSON instead of IRC messages? We do. So the big difference, as far as at least I've been able to see so far, IRC messages are plain text, and that's just kind of the IRC spec. So we are parsing strings to figure out what the message is, what kind of message, who sent it, so on and so forth. IRC doesn't support, apparently, sending us things like when somebody subscribes, when somebody sends a bit alert, anything of that nature. Speaking of, I realize that I do not have the bot going. So we're just going to do a quick, well, let's see here. Yeah, git checkout main, git pull, and let's do, and I'll talk about the tags here in just a second. And then let's do a source and a go run. Now I know that this view is probably very small, so we'll get there in just a second. There we go. Let me get back to that. All right. So yes, so it is IRC is plain text. It does not support kind of all of the other ancillary features that we want it to support. And then the PubSub client is JSON. It's a JSON that is being sent over a WebSocket. Technically, we're also using WebSockets for IRC. I don't remember what the other option was. I think it was just a TCP connection, but details. IRC for normal chat messages and PubSub for everything else. It's definitely starting to look that way. And there is an element of, it looks like PubSub does also support chat messages, if I remember that correctly. I might work on working over to like basically just getting out of IRC altogether, maybe. But I'm not entirely sure how to send messages. I don't think we can send messages through PubSub. I don't think. So IRC kind of exists, correct, as more or less just a medium for chat messages. And for all intents and purposes, I actually think that we have gotten here. We have gotten these two pieces done. So let me get checkout plugin refactor again. Come back in, pop into main, and actually, sorry, I want to pop into the bot. Could not import Medj IRC, no package import. IRC is right there. Go home, Vim, you drunk. Let's see here. So did I? Yes. So this was what we were working on in the last stream. We were working on getting an event struct and kind of figuring out what all we wanted that event struct to contain. And then we also were working on some kind of, we'll call them convenience functions. It's effectively just a way to create an event without having to pass the constants, the IOTAs around. And for anybody that's not aware, IOTA is it's an auto-incrementing integer. It's a very handy thing in Go. So I don't have to say chat message equals 1, bits equals 2, sub equals 3, gift equals 4, etc. You just say const chat message equals IOTA, and then each of these things get their own integer, like their own unique integer. And what's really nice is that you can reorder these. It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter if you expose them outside, but it's super nice. So the only reason that I haven't closed those two tickets out, oh, that button doesn't do what I want it to do anymore. Oh no. The only reason that I haven't closed these two out, even though we do have the handlers changed over. So now the handlers don't speak IRC message, they speak bot events. But if I go into handler, let's go into the greet handler. That looks really small and really stretched on my OBS screen. Let me pull up. This is probably gonna wreck me a little bit, but let me pull up stream on my screen. I'm afraid to know what this looks like, but we're gonna find out anyway. There it is. Let's make that bigger. It's not terrible, but it could probably be bigger. This is the thing that I was afraid of with 4K, with changing over to a 4K monitor. I was afraid that everything was just going to go absolutely bonkers. All right, so I will dig into that a little bit later. Is this IOTA just a group of flags, like if it's a gift sub or bits dono or something else? Excuse me, my goodness, my voice just failed me. Yes, so it's all that these IOTAs are they're indicators of types of messages. So this event is just a generic event. It can contain, as far as I'm aware, any information that I need from any event coming from PubSub. And any event coming from PubSub would be, like you said, bits, subs, gift subs, point redemption, so on and so forth. I included chat message in here, although I'm not entirely sure that I really want it to be there. I might end up deleting this. But yes, it's just a way for me to encompass, hey, this chat event is an event of type chat message. So this could be compared to an enum in Java. The event class would have a type enum member. Pretty much, yeah. It would be the equivalent of an enum in Java that has an integer value. Let's see here. So let me go back over to... Now, there were a couple of things that were broken on this, if I remember correctly. So I think this is where, yes. So this is where we started to, more or less, we started to convert the bot over to a new architecture, a new way of passing messages around. Enums implicitly have an int value if you don't specify it. I actually don't recall. I think Scala does that. If you just say blah 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 equals value, value is an implicit int, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure about Java. I've always been explicit on enums, whichever. But I think you may be thinking of ordinal, maybe. If you declare an enum, but you don't declare, if you just declare, say, a set of tokens. Actually, yeah, I think you're right, because then the value would just default to the ordinal of that enum. So I think you are correct. Yes. So, and this is where I wanted to pop over to the PR. So, existing in the bot right now is we don't have these. We have these. So the bot had an explicit dependency on chat IRC. And this was going to make things particularly difficult in thinking about, okay, well, what if I wanted to add a PubSub client? Do I just add a PubSub.client? Do I was kind of like throwing myself around on how I wanted to actually structure this and how I wanted the bot to more or less listen to both clients. And then Shito came in and was like, yo, dog, just do plugin architecture. So that brings us to this lovely guy. Let me make this bigger. That is the one thing that I'm not particularly keen on for these 4K monitors. It is it is definitely something that is taking me.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
That is very loud on these headphones. Holy crap! And Erva, welcome to the lab. Thank you so much for stopping by. Holy crap! Hello. I'm also. Again, I apologize to everybody. I am going to be kind of messing around with the monitor just a little bit because, oof, I have not yet gotten this to setting where I want it to be. And the second question is, why is that so damn loud? The volume control on this thing is terrible. Oh my goodness. All right, so that's a pass through to channels 1 and 2. Of course, it doesn't have any volume, so that's okay. I might have to do something about that, but I'll come back to it. The message just appeared on Megastream before my chat box. Oh my. I have no idea what anything means, but I've come to say hello. Well, thank you very much, Erva. I appreciate you being here. Welcome to the lab. All right. So I might have to. Lord, I might have to actually do something about that because Wolf. Let me turn that on, and then let me. Sorry. So I have the speakers on this monitor are absolute garbage. So I ended up just plugging in my headphones in, and but now the headphones are my speakers, and they are loud. Woof. Is that painting in the background? Oh, this one? It is. I've had it for a little while now. Hello, Tilly. But I haven't actually put it up on the wall, and I was kind of thinking about like where would I want to put it, where would I want it to sit, and yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Officer Wolf. Thank you so much for the extra research. You are the best. Alrighty. Let me get that out of the way. Put that over there. Okay, that's actually a lot better. The headphones are currently facing down on the table, so now it's not quite as loud whenever I get a notification. Yeah, I'm really gonna have to figure out sound setup on this. I have so much to do, but I just got it installed yesterday, and then I went to sleep. All right, so the first thing to do is to check out this this PR. Sound coming out of headphones that feels a little jank. It is. I got this monitor because it had speakers built in, and to be perfectly honest, they're kind of garbage. So instead of using these speakers, I instead opted to plug the headphones in. Worked really well because I really like my headphones, but oof. So let's see here. How do I want to look at this? So the big thing that I see in terms of changes here: inbound plugin collection and outbound plugin collection. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, my voice. Let me clear my throat real quick. Well, that was lovely. All right, let's see. What do we have?
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Let's see here. Juan Jones SJ? I probably pronounced that incorrectly, and I apologize, but welcome to the lab. Thank you so much for the follow. Digital lab coats will be available upon request. However, we cannot guarantee that they will actually fit, because unfortunately, just like my monitor, I have no idea how any of it works. Welcome, May. Thank you. All right. So we have a bidirectional channel for events. Channel and consumer is still the same. And then inbound plugins and outbound plugins. Okay. Is inbound plugin and outbound plugin collection, are those type definitions somewhere? Hello from Argentina. Well, hello there. Thank you so much for stopping by the lab, mate. I appreciate it. Welcome. Geez, the viewership is starting to go all over the place. That's incredible. Oh, Twitch is so fun. Okay, so we have this pluggable interface now, and pluggable interface includes inbound and outbound. Inbound has a get ID and a set outbound channel. Outbound has a get ID and get inbound channel. Okay. Inbound plugin collection is a map of string inbound. And then we have some bot functions. Okay. So register plugin. You could say the audience members are twitching. Rock. Why would they be twitching, Rock? Why, Rock? 715, welcome to the lab, mate. Thank you so much for stopping by. How you doing, man? Oh, Erva and Rock just going after each other. It must be home. I must be home. So register plugin. Oh, interesting. So register a plugin which is both an inbound and an outbound plugin. Register inbound plugin is only an inbound plugin, and then register outbound plugin is only an outbound plugin. Okay, I see. I see. Let's see here. Okay. And package errors. Thank you for bringing that in, because I had just come across that that GitHub repo a couple days ago, and I was like, wow, why am I not using package errors? Hello. Let's see here. Alrighty. Okay. So a pluggable is an interface that will send and receive messages like IRC. Plugin will send messages to the bot. Plugin will accept messages from the bot. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Rock, are you bullying one of my viewers? Let's see here. Okay, so like I have any idea what to do for programming. I failed CS. Aw. Ban him? I don't have a ban command, Erva. I'm so sorry. You're just gonna have to fight with each other, I'm afraid. Although, Rock, you should feel lucky to have someone as wonderful as Erva just trashing you all the time. Just saying. All right, so we've got IRC. IRC has a config. That config is okay. So this is declaring it as an inbound outbound. Okay. Okay, let's see. And apologies for the lack of commentary here. I am more or less I'm more or less trying to consume most of this. Start, config returns an error, IRC connect, IRC authenticate, IRC join. Okay, I actually really like that. Kind of encapsulates all of the connect, authentication, and join mechanisms, which I think I was talking about at the end of the last stream. So I really like that. And then IRC read. Okay. We will probably need something here, and this is more of a to-do for me, or anybody that plays with it. We're probably going to need some kind of an exit condition for more or less all of these clients. But that's more of a future item that I think I'm looking at. Underscore equals irc.con.close. Okay. I might remove these two lines, more or less because I'm not too concerned. I actually wanted to get rid of this this print line, but I will probably get rid of that line and revert that back to this, mostly because I'm only using the close as a closer, so I'm only using it as a defer blah 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 dot close. So I think I might condense that. And then down here is, yeah, there we go. Down here is the read function, so we're back on the read. If message, okay. And then didn't this change to, no, it's just an empty, okay. Okay. And then the final thing is that this sends a bot event with chat message, user, and the message itself. Nice. I like it. So an example outbound plugin would be like a bits donation plugin that reacts to bit donations, then a sub plugin, redemption plugin, etc. Well, let's double check again. I want to make sure that I get this right. So an inbound, okay. This might take a bit of a brain reset. So an inbound plugin is more or less just a something that is sending messages to the bot. So the example for this that I'm deeming is a PubSub client and the IRC client. Those two clients are sending messages to the bot. So they're considered to be inbound clients in that regard. Outbound clients are things that are accepting messages from the bot. So the outbound plugin would be, I'm guessing I'm reading this as all of the handlers. There's an element of this that it almost seems like the outbound plugin I'm not as keen on, purely because of the existence of the existing handler interface. Hey, Phoenix, welcome to the lab, mate. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you for the potato. Oh, what is the line? So, how are you all doing? Because I'm a potato. That was not an attempt to do a GLaDOS voice. That was more just me kind of going, what? Oh, thank you for the stretch, Rockrate. I saw that uncomfy chair movement. Yeah, that was kind of me like leaning back and being hunched over and just. Plus, I don't have my new keyboard. I'm not using my new keyboard because I actually wanted to be able to type today. I really need to practice on that keyboard, my goodness. Yeah, there's an element of not really doing an outbound interface. Although there you could also argue an element of consistency. And okay, so let me think. Instead of inbound and outbound, wouldn't the words sender and receiver be better? It's still, so what kind of gave me pause initially when I came back to them was inbound and outbound to what? I think was where my brain kind of paused for a second. Because my initial thought was inbound and outbound at the boundary of the application, which would be inbound or outbound to Twitch. But here it's actually inbound and outbound in relation to the bot. So the inbound clients are the messages coming from IRC, the messages coming from PubSub. Those are technically inbound to the bot. And then outbound from the bot is the bot sending messages technically anywhere. But to be fair, that plugin is also in the bot package. So for all intents and purposes, inbound and outbound being kind of typed to the bot makes sense. Let's see here. So more or less what's kind of in my brain right now is I'm thinking about do I want to keep the existing handler interface where handlers are more or less just what is the phrase I'm looking for? Handlers are still just a collection of functions that the bot knows how to broadcast messages to, or do I want to convert them into plugins and kind of keep that same approach that way? And I'm not entirely sure how I want to do that. But I think there's something that here that doesn't really work that well. Okay, so we have go consumer.listen, and then we have go consumer.receive. Oh no, that is doing more or less the same thing. I was thinking for a second that this receive message was going to be a blocking function, which technically it can, if I remember correctly. Or actually no, because in this case, oh nope, they are buffered. They are buffered, so I do believe that they are blocking. If this is being slow, for example, then technically speaking, read in this case would be a block. Yeah, so we've got a little bit of a block scenario here. Okay, so that's something to consider. Let me put up the secret screen real quick. I need to fix my mouse. I don't know why, but I have a thumb button, and that thumb button is supposed to bring up is it the app expose or is it mission control? Mission control. That's the one that I wanted. Sorry, I have a middle or a thumb button on my mouse that more or less acts like 3-finger swipe on the. Oh, I didn't mean to click that button. Uh-oh. Oh dear. I hit the wrong button. I hit the start stream button, so all of the things started over again. Woohoo! Oh man, look at all those windows that just popped up. Aw yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see here. Yes, but so I have a button that I have a thumb button that replaces that, and it was not doing what I wanted it to do. It's supposed to do that. Rippity doodah. All right. So does this fix that issue? Is the question. And Shito, question for you on the get ID part. What was the thought around what we would use the IDs for? I do see the check for whether or not the plugin is already registered. Do we need a uniqueness check? I'm trying to think. It could potentially save us from the scenario of accidentally multi-registering. I could see that. Let's see here. Let me scroll a little bit. Okay, all that makes sense. That's converting IRC into a plugin, which more or less makes sense to me. Secret store, Twitch token, IRC config, IRC new client. Okay, that's interesting. So in a go routine, start the client. If error does not equal to nil, log.fatal error f. Log.fatal error. Sorry, I combined format.errorf, fmt.errorf, and log.fatalf in my brain for some reason. And then chatbot register plugin. Error is not equal to nil. Fatal, fail to register plugin s. Okay. And then that would get rid of all of that. Start the chatbot. Everything else would more or less become part of the client. I quite like it. So irc.start. Now what was in the bot for bot.start? Outbound, inbound, that makes sense. Ping pong handler. Does indeed go away. EVT.message. And okay, here's the bot. So the bot has a channel for events, inbound plugins, and outbound plugins. Okay. I remember feeling so smart for binding auto hotkey typing sequences to macro keys to create things like for loops, class bodies, and I learned that every IDE supports templates. You know, though, it's still a good feeling. Like, it doesn't matter if that what is the phrase? I always enjoy finding those things, even if they already existed, because now I have that in my brain as something that I'm going to look for or I'm going to enforce existing no matter what tool I'm using. It kind of sets a level of convenience that you almost expect everywhere. And so when you don't get that convenience, it's almost like your brain automatically jumps into automate mode. And in my opinion, brain jumping immediately to automate mode is not a bad thing. So I would say that you should feel smart for doing those things, because you didn't know that the IDs did all those things, and you did that thing yourself. And for that, you should be proud. You should be proud, Rock. Just saying. No matter what Irva says about you. All right, so now this becomes send event. So we don't have any of the connect logic in here, which makes sense. Send event is grabbing inbound channel, sending that. Okay. So that makes sense. The bot is now more or less very aware that they're very aware of the fact that that all of these plugins are speaking channels, which technically in the original, like in this, what I kind of sort of did was I I just kind of set up the channel inside of the handler, and the handler just kind of hid that it was using channels to send and receive messages. This is a lot more explicit that the communication mechanism is channels, and that makes sense to me. I think right now it makes sense to me. Let's see here. So send event to plugin, ID an event. If not okay, return errors.new, outbound plugin not registered. Minor detail here would probably be which outbound plugin isn't registered. So we probably would do the ID here so we know what outbound plugin failed. Add that there. For what reason does every event need what I assume is an IO ID? Are you talking about this ID, or which one are you pointing to, Rock? This ID is actually pointing to, if I'm reading this code correctly, it's actually pointing to a plugin. So in the, let me scroll down here. In the definition of plugin or pluggable, each inbound and outbound has an ID, and this is more or less just a way for the bot to say, hey, I need a very specific plugin to receive a message. There we go. So you can state what ID plugin you want to address exactly. The caveat, though, to that is that does create a bit of a tight coupling. And what I'm actually looking for now is where this is actually called. Exactly. So that was kind of my thought was, what about sending events to multiple plugins? So there is an element to this, though, and I think this is something that Shito probably already identified, which is that in the case of if we register all the handlers as plugins, then more or less what that means is that a handler becomes an outbound plugin, and so sending to multiple outbound plugins is fine. This is actually what send event does. With the one caveat, though, of doesn't this send that same event to the clients as well? Let me think about this. So in the case of the bot has received a message from IRC, so it's a message object, and then it wants to broadcast that out to the handlers. It sends that into the outbound plugins. But doesn't outbound plugins also contain the IRC, what is it? The IRC client and the PubSub client? Did I read that properly? I thought I did. I probably didn't, but I thought I did. Chatbot.register plugin. Yep, so that would register it as both an inbound and an outbound plugin. So then if I'm reading this properly, this is I think this is the piece that that I think is giving me pause. Because wouldn't that message event then get rebroadcasted out to all of the other plugins? I think it would. I think what we would want here, you know what? Let me throw a comment on here. I will treat this like an actual PR because it is an actual PR. Wouldn't this result in message duplication. Yeah, so I'm curious, Shito. Are the handlers not outbound plugins in this case? Did we change that in here? Let me see here. I need to expand all of this. Nope. The receivers are not outbound clients. My apologies, Shito. I think I was thinking that that the receivers were also outbound plugins, which makes sense. Okay. So let me cancel that. Wow, that was really small. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to readjust the size of the monitor because that is tripping me out. Okay. Okay, so the handlers not being outbound clients, I think makes that make more sense. Do we use this code anywhere? I wish that I could do. You know what? Overall, I actually do really like. Let me quit out of. Okay, let me quit out of that. Make sure that's up to date. Origin plugin refactor should be okay. So let me do this. I actually like. I really like the way that this is formatted. So I'm gonna give it the seal of approval. Gonna give it the seal of approval. We'll do this here in just a second. Let's do a squash and merge. Confirm squash and merge. Whoosh. Hey. Awesome. Git pull origin plugin refactor. So now we have all those changes. Let's go in. Let's take a look. Thank you very much, Shito. I appreciate it. So let's see what we're looking at here. Okay. So no references here. Plenty of references there. Okay. So this is currently not being used. Okay. I think I'm going to delete this function for now, purely because it's not being used anywhere. But I am going to keep it. I'm going to keep it in Git history, so that we basically remember that it's there. And the only reason that I do that is just I have a thing about unused code. But I'm probably gonna go back on that at some point because I'm starting to wonder if that will actually be useful for us in some capacity. Hey, Farinor, thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab, mate. Welcome to merging PRs and understanding more code. Oops, I didn't want to do that. I want to do that. Yeah, so I'll probably come back to that function, Shito. But for now, that should give me what I want. Yes. Okay. The other thing that I need to look at is in here. Ah, yes. Okay. So what I was looking for was the channel for the bot, which I don't know. I did need that somewhere, or at least I thought I needed it somewhere. But I think the intention was if we were going to go for a true multi-channel bot, that channel wasn't really going to be necessary to the bot. It was only going to be necessary to its instance, to its clients. So I might say we can remove channel. See if that blows anything up. I don't think it does. Yeah, it should be okay. And let's see. And then inbound and outbound plugin collection is just a map string inbound and a map string outbound. Okay. Okay. So does new have a new F form? No, it doesn't. Okay. So I can see why the why this wasn't a thing. So if we do plugin dot get ID plus inbound plugin already registered, and that's purely just so that we can have a kind of a consistent whoops yeah, just so that we know what plugin is being registered. Inbound plugin already registered. Ah, it didn't want to do that. Oh my goodness. Outbound plugin already registered. Fantastic. Let's come into IRC again. Let's see IRC. Let's see IRC. That's not confusing. So we got get ID, return IRC. Okay. I might make that a constant. Just for accessibility. Yeah, let's do that. Const plugin ID equals IRC. Purely for if we needed that. Thinking like from a testing perspective, we could do something like that. Now get inbound channel, return IRC inbound events, set outbound channel. Okay. At least we're not seeing IRC and C. You know, you're not wrong. Let's see. And then this is just a this is just a bit of a formatting thing for me. I like to have I like to do this. Get ID, get out inbound, set outbound, just so that I can have something that looks a little bit like this. And I think the other piece to this was I was thinking about moving this out into its own file, IRC++. You know? Yeah. So start does a thing. Oh, errors has error F. Let me go back to change this to error F. outbound plugin %s, because I do like consistency. Already registered. Plugin.get ID, if I can type. There we go. Yes. Let me come up here, do that, and this is an inbound plugin, already registered. This is still complaining. Error F not declared by package errors. Am I going nuts? Am I going nuts? Package errors. I think I was going nuts. I apologize, Chad. I was sitting there like, wait, I just had errors.errorf and errors.new elsewhere. Why would I not? What? And then it was because it was on errors and not the thingamadoo. Yeah. The only other thing that I am thinking about though is the ID. There is an element of Get ID is not very go-ish. Welcome to the lab, really, Frank. Thank you so much for stopping by. Let me think. I'm trying to think of a scenario where I would want the ID check. I prefer printf, but I write in C normally, and string concat there isn't trivial operations is fair. And yeah, Rock, that's kind of the reason. That's the same reason for me as to why I do the printf forms instead of the string concatenation forms. More or less for the same reason. I have a very it's deeply embedded in my head printf from C. So, okay. It should be just ID. That's fair. What I'm kind of deliberating at the moment is whether or not get ID, or really the concept of an ID on the plugin, really makes sense at this point. I'm thinking no. And I'm thinking no mostly because we're not really going to have so from the pub subs perspective, we're not really going to have any outbound channel. So pub sub is only going to be an inbound channel. We're not really registering any inbound. We're not really registering. Yeah, the more that I think about it, the more that I'm thinking about removing the ID construct altogether. And the only reason that I want to do that for now is purely because we're not really using it. We wouldn't really be using it. And thinking kind of in the future, even if we brought the pub sub into this, which we are, the pub sub is only going to be registered as an inbound channel, so it's only going to be registered as an inbound to the bot. The bot's not going to be able to communicate back out through pub sub. Yeah. I'm just kind of I'm going through chat. I prefer the readability of concat since all values are exactly in the string at their place instead of having to look to and from the format variables. It's kind of fair. And to this day, I feel like people still fight over which is more efficient, the concat or the format. Getting set as not normally used in Go code is fair. I will admit I use them on occasion because sometimes it does make sense, at least to me, to have the explicit get or set moniker. It kind of depends, though. I do kind of shy away from the get and set monikers, but there are times that I do use them. Okay. I think I am going to go... for removing the ID construct. And same thing, it's in Git history now, so if we really needed to, we can bring it back out again. But I don't think I'm going to use that for right now. What I think I'm gonna do... let's see here. So let me pause for a second. Yeah, let me pause for a second. So if I did that, then more or less that what would happen is this would change to a slice of inbound and outbound. And as far as I'm aware, that doesn't change anything on the bot, because the bot is using inbound plugin collection and outbound plugin collection, which is very clever, Shito. That hides what struct we're using internally. So if I change this to the following, if I got rid of the IDs, we wouldn't need this. This would become append. And that should do what I want it to do, I believe. Nope. Okay. Append bot.inbound plugins. That's not correct. I'm not entirely sure why. Let me check this. Get all the things inside your base. For get set on simple things, C# properties are great. By using assignment operator implicitly calls the get set. That's kind of what I liked about Scala. Scala kind of sort of did the same thing. They were like, hey, why are you making getters and setters for data? Just use the function, like just use the variable. And there was all kinds of uproar about that, but I kind of liked it, not gonna lie. I don't like ceremony for fake, what was it? I don't like ceremony for fake security, I think is what my old lead once said. It was hilarious. Does anyone here use var or do you use let? Since ES6, I started using let and const. And I think I only did that because my brain just kind of forgot about var altogether. Oh, you are correct. Thank you, really, Frank. Bot.inbound plugins equals append. Now, but I think that's still... Nope, that's right. Thank you, really, Frank. Appreciate it. This is why I need you. So this becomes bot.outbound plugins. Delete to this. Bot.outbound plugins equals append. Return nil. Return nil. So that could potentially in the future return an error, and that's perfectly fine. I think I want to go to register. And for the record, normally I would actually approach those in the PR, The only reason that I didn't is more or less so that I could kind of get on with stream. But at the same time, in that case, I probably would have opened a PR to the PR to show kind of like, hey, this is more of what I would be thinking, and then that would get in theory get merged into the PR. That PR would get merged into the main branch, and now everybody is kind of credited accordingly. But for the sake of the stream, we just going for it. All right. I am also going to change this slightly. Register inbound plugin. I really don't know why it does that. I really hate how it does that. Not going to lie. Register inbound plugin registers a how do we phrase this? Which sends messages to the bot. And I'm kind of just changing this for a little bit of Go convention. Register outbound plugin, which receives messages from the bot. And I only wanted to call that out just as a almost as like a reminder. Let's see here. Register plugin, which both sends and receives messages from the bot. There we go. And I'm only changing those because I'm probably going to be very reliant on those comments to kind of remind me what those things do. Yes, and so now we don't have any imports. So now we've got our register plugin inbound and outbound. Let's pop into the bot, make sure that nothing changed here. Indeed it did not. Fantastic. Oh wait, did I reverse that? Hold on, did I reverse that? Inbound. Wait. Okay. Did I reverse this again? No. This plugin will send messages to the bot. Oh, okay. This is this naming is kind of confusing me a little bit. So let me actually delete this because that's implied. This naming, this kind of reverse naming, is kind of confusing me a little bit because it's an inbound interface that's setting an outbound channel. It takes me a moment to really understand that. And even after I thought I understood it, it's also kind of giving me pause for thought again. And I think it's because of the sorry for the sounds. I have not eaten breakfast this morning. It's still kind of giving me pause every time that I look at it. I think I want to simplify the names just a little bit to say how do I kind of just want to say set channel. Set channel and channel. I mean, I could also just call it get channel. And the thought there just being to prevent the what basically just happened in my head, which was I was very confused on looking at the type, but then looking at the name of the method, and I feel like it would be a little bit easier if these things matched. So if we did just this, for example, get outbound plugins, get the channel for that plugin, and then send an event to that channel. That way, we're not potentially changing. We're not changing the context via naming. Inbound and outbound are fancy words. I would just name it receive and send. I think a similar message was sent a little bit earlier, Faranor. Is that an unused? No, that's a used. Let me see. Go bot.listen. Listen is spawning the consumers. Okay. Sorry. I am nomming. There we go. Inbound and outbound to and from the bot. And yeah, it confused me for a moment as well, but if you think about it from the perspective of the pluggable interface and the definition of a plugin being found within the bot package, you're effectively talking about inbound and outbound within the context of the bot. So our IRC plugin, our IRC client, excuse me, for example, would be an inbound because it is receiving messages from Twitch and it is sending those messages to the bot. So we don't need this. We don't need that. And then this would just be get channel and set channel. And then if you think about it from the perspective of IRC, inbound events and outbound events, and Shito, if I'm misrepresenting this in any way, do call me out on it. The inbound events and the outbound events here are inbound, outbound in context of the IRC. So if you kind of look at it that way, it starts to make a little more sense. It's one of those things that it's this will definitely make its way into the README here very shortly, because I kind of did the same thing. But it makes sense when you think about it as inbound, outbound in context of the package that you're in, and as long as you keep that pattern consistent, then it's not confusing, or it's not as confusing. It's not as confusing as I would think it would be. Also, we have package errors, so let's replace. Let's do a quick replace here. fmt.error f with errors.new. That was the only one, wasn't it? Damn it. It's okay. All right, so I'm also going to get rid of that, just so that we have our closer. Okay. And by the way, Shito, just to call it out and to kind of call out to Chad as well. This does not mean that the like all the changes that I'm making does not mean that that the code that Shito posted for the pull request is wrong in any way. Far from it. And again, so thankful for you taking the time to push that PR up and to basically kickstart me through that plugin refactor. I genuinely appreciate it. This is genuinely just me going through in terms of style and making some edits according to what my personal style is. It's not how you would normally do an open source project. Just saying. But yeah, I wanted to call that out because that is this is not in any way me saying that that my way is better or my way is the way to do things or anything of that nature. Far from it. Okay. So I think that solves that for IRC. Let me come back into here. Register plugin, fatal to register plugin. So that probably won't happen anytime soon, but I am going to leave that there just as a note. Does Vim have a formatter that neatly formats code automatically? I want to say that it does have some auto formatting. I'm fairly confident that it has some auto formatting. Most of the formatting that you see happening right now is because of the Vimgo plugin. So it's basically piping the current file into GoFMT for me, and when it comes back out, it basically prompts me with a fixed buffer. So, for example, if I were to not do that, if I were to bring not that. If I were to kind of unindent that, massively indent that, blah, 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 and when I do a save, it auto formats for me. Vim does have, so like for example, if I were to unindent these, so I've selected all of these, I hit equals. That re-indents it, I think, to what Vim understands the formatting of the current block to be. It's pretty freaking cool. Ugh. But I think there are definitely plugins. So, like for example, COC, the completion engine that I use, it has a bunch of plugins for different languages: TypeScript, Java, Scala, Go, so on. I just happen to use Vimgo for Go specifically, and inside of that, for example, for TypeScript or for JavaScript, it can use Prettier as its formatter. So it can more or less do it can pipe the file out to a formatter for you, which is super handy. Like formatting, auto formatting, like what GoFMT does, is a necessity in any project that I work on. If a project does not have an auto formatter, I add one, or at least I push really hard to add one. Because that is just not a conversation that I enjoy having with people. It's like, let's not worry about how the code is formatted. Let's just get a formatter, put the formatter in place, have the formatter run on compile, and end those discussions. I don't like it when you have your curly brace on a new line. Format it. Also, yes, I am eating dark chocolate for breakfast. Am adult, send help. All right, let me look at something real quick. Perfect. We got some time. So let me come into the bot. So let me do this. Oh, set outbound channel in pluggable. Okay. Where's there? Rip grep. Rip grep help. Set outbound. Oh, did I just not save the... I probably just didn't save the buffer. Yeah. I just didn't save the buffer. Damn it! Oh, would you look at that? Alright, so let me pull this over here. There we go. Woof. Oh, right. It ends... I need to put like a background that has a sneaky little bar going straight down the middle that tells me exactly where my windows are supposed to be. Okay. So now we've got this going on. Okay, so we will need to fix that because that's not very pretty. But at a bare minimum, the bot is back up to working, number one. And number two, we have output. Thank you so much, Shito. I genuinely appreciate it. That was bothering me from Tuesday. Kind of like wrapping into my own head of how I wanted how I actually wanted to do this. So much appreciated, man. Let's see here. Let me catch up on some chat. There are people who don't consider a formatter mandatory. Correct. There are people. There are companies that the teams could not that I've worked at that the team could not agree on a formatter because they fought so much about what the actual formatting of the code should be, and yeah, so they refused to do any of that. And the PRs were always littered with comments of, this should be on a new line, this should be intended this way, this should be worded this way. It's like, do we not have other things to work on? You only get compilation errors on execution. No, that's just me being dumb because I'm not running, I'm not doing one of these every once in a while. What I should be doing is I should have build on save. The only reason that I don't have build on save is because I save a lot. So I'm just kind of, I'm in that mode of where I'm like, I'm trying to train myself. Yeah, you're seeing the, you're seeing the results of somebody that, does not have build running in the background constantly. No live compilation. There is live compilation. I just don't have it turned on. I turned it off explicitly, and is the TLDR. And technically, you are getting live compilation from the perspective of like when I'm typing, and you get like if I do that, for example, this is live compilation. But things like the kind of project-wide build, I don't have turned on for various reasons that I am slowly doubling back on. Oh boy. So I just got a message. I just got a message from a buddy of mine. Said, "Yo, Scrub, why aren't you using the new keyboard?" Hello, Tiny Cat. So, hey, Chad, you want to see me struggle on the new keyboard? Well, hello. Yoink. Free cat cam. This is Tiny Girl. Tiny Girl is being very cuddly this morning for some reason. No? Usually when I when I put my arm down like that, she usually goes somewhere. No? You just want to be a hand kitty? Nom nom nom, you just want to bite me? You're so sweet, but you stink so bad. Alright, put you down. Alright, chat. We're gonna struggle for a minute. Oh. It's time for the Moonlander. I should say the Moonlander. Real talk though, I've said it multiple times now, but this is the most comfortable keyboard that I've ever worked on. But man, do I suck at typing on it. Oh. Alright, here we go. Now you're gonna feel like the guys controlling the actual Moonlander. I think they have more buttons than I do. Dual wielding. Let me see if I can get a good shot of this thing. Yoink. And of course the feature that pretty much everybody really enjoys. Let me I'll bring this up over here. Let me bring up ZSA. And I need tools, Oryx. Is it Oryx or is it Wally? No, Wally is the they have some really interesting names for here we go. So I have the Medgelander layout. This is their configuration tool, which I adore. I think I put it on... It is on Raise. Okay. Okay. So the feature that everybody kind of takes to is that one. Look at how shiny that is. Where's our resident magpie when we need her? Yeah, so let me put that like that, and let me bring that over like that. But again, the thing that is most convenient, Coffee sits right here, typing away, typing away. Typing away, typing away. Because that is the most important feature, let's be real. Moonlander is Pride ready? Yeah, damn right. Feel free to love who you feel like loving. By God. Because we here at the lab, we love everybody. Yoink. And I genuinely mean that. Racism, sexism, transphobia, homophobia, none of that is allowed here. We love everybody because curiosity doesn't care who you are or what you are. Curiosity only cares that you are curious. Meanwhile, Tiny Cat trying to get the PS5 controller. Oh, I think she smells the chocolate. Oh dear. She really wants in there. Zelda. You know what? This is better content than me coding, so yeah, you know, I'll take it. Zelda. Oh my god. Do you also like the Demon Prince? I mean, is the Demon Prince curious about code? Because Zelda. Leave it alone, honey. All right. Let's get back to some code. Oh dear. Y'all, you remember how I said that I was really bad at typing on this thing? I don't know why that's going to... Okay. J and K doing what they're supposed to be doing. H and L doing what they're supposed to be doing. So why is Shift J not doing what it's supposed to be doing? Oh dear. All right. Unfortunately, I'm not interested in delaying the stream just for the meme. We'll figure all that out a little bit later. For now, we return to our trusty Prionic. For now. Okie dokie. So here we are. Okay. Keeb has its own software. It does, but it is also QMK compatible. So you can, I think you can either configure it with QMK configurator, which, y'all, a little bit of my Southern is coming out here for this. If you have never seen QMK configurator, it's hilarious. And all you have to do is hit the compile. Oh look, there's a potato. Why is there a potato? I don't know, but there's a potato. It's a space potato. That just... I don't know why. I don't know why. But we have a potato. I approve. I approve on so many levels. Beep. Let's see here. But yes, so there's the QMK configurator, but then there's also the Moonlander has their own software for configuring as well. And I mean, 601, half a dozen the other. I kind of like QMK's version for the Moonlander, but I definitely use I use ZSA's version for the Moonlander, but I use QMK for the Prionic. Oh, Chad, I just realized I was just being stupid. It wasn't that I couldn't type, it was because I was hitting the wrong thing. I was hitting Shift J instead of curly brace. I need more coffee. All right, so let me pop over into the Trello real quick. So create bot.event to accommodate IRC and PubSub. Am still in the process of figuring out whether or not that does what I want it to do. Refactor bot.handlers to not use IRC.message. As far as I'm aware, that part is indeed done. Let me come over to the logging handler real quick. Now this part is kind of interesting. I need to pop into PubSub. Because what's interesting to me is that that message was not... That's why. That's why. It's because it was message string. Good morning, Fuel. Thank you so much for stopping by, mate. Welcome to the lab. Blames Keith is actually just doing it wrong. All right. It's fair. It's fair. It's fair. Moonlander's coming back out. Moonlander's coming back out. I'm so sorry, chat. I'm so sorry. I blamed the hardware when it was really the meatbag that was using the hardware. I'm so sorry. Let's get her plugged back in. How you doing, Fuel? Thank you so much for stopping by, mate. I do need to get me a smaller TRRS cable, though. That is something that is probably going to bother me. Ooh, I could get one of the little loop cables, little loop TRRS. Ooh, that'd be so pretty. All right. So let's see here. Wasn't that one. Wasn't that one. There it is. There she be. Look at us go. You know you want to learn the Moonlander, and there's no better than learning than just doing it. Yep. Taking it easy with uni, only one thing left that absolutely needs to be done this weekend. That's a good feeling. The question is that one thing something that's going to take you all weekend to do? Because that would be terrible. All right. So what I think I need to do... yes, because string was including the user, the command, and the params, whereas here... instead of message.string, I'm actually going to change this to this would technically be message.params, but it would also be strings.join on message.params. If I'm thinking about that properly. And then joining on empty. And apologies. This is absolutely going to be slower. But that's the joy of changing keyboards in the middle of stream. How's the bot doing? Very well. Thanks to Shito for giving us a pull request to finish off the plugin architecture. The bot is now very much set up to accept PubSub messages. Let me just double check. Shit, what's the, oh no, it's, there we go. So let me see that, retry that, and let's see, ooh, it's still printing out. Oh, that's not doing what I wanted to do. Nope. That's not doing what I wanted to do at all. So let's, there we go. It's like, where are all of my things? And it wouldn't be strings.join. Yeah, it wouldn't be strings.join. I think that would be something else. Hello, Sleo. How you doing, mate? Thanks so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. All right. So the read logger is indeed just going off of event.message. And event.message, if I thought I was looking at that properly. It's just this. So it's making me wonder where all of that is coming from. I'll have to compliment you on your ability of pronouncing my name. Is it indeed Sleo? I feel like I ask that every time that I see you because I second guess myself, but that's just kind of like my brain's natural way of going, oh hey, Sleo. Or maybe, possibly. But then again, I'm also Southern, so it's kind of a... Ooh.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Daniel Craig? Or Daniel Krieg? Depends on how you look at it. Thank you so much for the follow, mate. Welcome to the lab. Digital lab coats will be available upon request. However, we cannot guarantee that they will actually fit because I'm kind of going off of American sizing. It's perfectly accurate? Yes! It's all about the small victories. All about the small victories. Okay. Let me pop into the bot and let me come back up here. Oh no, that's right. Oh. That's why. I think that's why. So if I do a oh, that's not a very good key combination now. Oh, I'm not sure I like that. Although that is a pretty good workout for my thumb and middle finger. So just for context, so previously on the Prionic, my leader key is mapped to my spacebar, and so to do a comment was just space C space. To basically comment out the current line is just space v space. Very quick. But now that my hand is positioned like this, now that it's positioned for the Moonlander, space C space was not as intuitive for some reason. Oof. That's the smallest spacebar you've ever seen? Oh, Rock. Where did, there you are. Every time you say that, Rock. You make me bring the plank out. Both of those individual keys are spacebar. Ah, spooky ghost machine. I can't do the thing that you do when you say my name. It's so adorable. Welcome to the lab. Thank you so much for stopping by. And just as a heads up, Spooky, we are very much crutched a little bit today because
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Rockstar. Oh, hold on a sec. Rockstar Reed? Oh man, that was interesting. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. Big crowd today, I know. 2 entire default size keys for a spacebar, that can be cut down in half. I know, right? There was a very brief moment where I thought, you know, I could potentially for the Prionic, I could just have 2 keys here. But then when I really looked at it, I was like, nah. I kind of like the 2U keyboard, the 2U key personally. 2U key personally. I want to hear about this keyboard, Spooky. I have obviously I've been talking to Sorcery about the one that she's getting, and it has intrigued me. I probably would never get one because, well, just saying. But I'm intrigued by that keyboard. I need to know more. I think she is, yeah. I think so, at least. That was the last that I heard. Okay, so if we do that instead, and then it's do. There we go. Yes, apologies for anybody that is new to the lab. I am currently in the process of practicing now with a new keyboard, and oh boy, is it different. I mean, I love it, but oh boy, is it different. You are in a maze of twisty passages, all alike. Yes, and I apparently did not actually do the There we go. I didn't do the thing. Where's the thing? It's in no, it's in IRC. IRC. I just hit the microphone because I'm a professional streamer. Thank you. Must be hard getting used to, but worth it, definitely. I've kind of been going back and forth on it for the last couple of days, and I'm starting to get to that point where I'm remembering where keys are, and so that's really helping me with getting to that point where it's like, okay, now it's just a matter of efficiency. So let's just start using it. Let's just start using it for work and whatnot. All of you with your small keys, I just got a DAS keyboard, a DAS keyboard Ultimate. Yes. The last keyboard that I had before I went into this this kind of tiny keyboard world was a DAS keyboard. How many DAS keyboards did I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7? I think I had 7 different keyboards over the course of the time that I was in the normal keyboard land, and oof. The 10 key block is just free macro keys. Change your mind. Maybe. Did I just count in German? Did I just count in German? Hang on a second. I did just count in German, didn't I? Disregard. All right. Code. Hi, code. Hello. That's about all the German that I know. What was I doing? Holy shit. I'm getting 10 kinds of distracted right now, and I'm not upset by this. Oh, let's see here. Oh, there is also that now. Oh, right. Sorry, I just realized I have the curly brace and square brace keys. Those are now dedicated keys on my keyboard. And I forgot that I had those down here. Ooh. Options, choices. Anyway, okay. So now we have, and you know what? Let me just go ahead and do this. I feel pretty confident in saying at this point that we've met those 2 tickets. Farinor, Priv Message, Medge Labs. I think this is my third only. Okay, so that is back to working again. I'm thinking my third only. Not sure if I would go small key because I already have to learn both Danish and American layout. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a lot, Farinor, not gonna lie. Yeah. Honestly, the only reason that I went to a tiny keyboard is because I was getting a lot of RSI. I was getting a lot of RSI, and I never learned to home row type prior to switching to ortholinear keyboards, the straight up and down grid. That keyboard forced me, more or less, to use home row typing. And now this, the split keyboard, is kind of forcing that even further on me. So in the process of attempting to find a keyboard that didn't have me moving my fingers quite as much, I also ended up, by kind of context, learning finally, after however many years, how to home row type. So, fun fact, my school did not teach home row typing. They just only cared about how fast you typed. And my fastest was doing kind of a hover. What I used to do, and I still do on Mac keyboards, or really any keyboard that's staggered, is I kind of do like a little bit of a hover thing. just casually counting in German. I genuinely have no idea why my brain swapped to count in German. I have no idea. I'm going to be thinking about that all bloody day. So I think that I feel confident enough to consider these done. I feel pretty confident in this. Which means now we're back on PubSub. All right, let me save this. Actually, let's do this in Vim. I want to see how this how this goes. So let's do main. Let's bring up our stage, and stage. And let's do a G commit. And so we want remove unused code and or remove unused ID concept, and then need to rework logger is how I'll choose to say that. Now y'all are just wanting me to make a fool of myself. Yeah. So context, when I was in high school, actually I should back up. When I was in middle school, we were required to take 2 years of foreign language. So in middle school, I took Spanish. And then in high school, same school district, mind you, they came back and said, oh, well, you need another 2 years of foreign language. However, they did not count the first 2 years of foreign language from middle school. So I was forced to take Spanish 1 and 2 again after having Spanish 1 and 2 back to back the 2 years prior. So that was fun. I got very bored in the class, and yeah. But my Spanish teacher in high school, she actually spoke German fluently. And I think I just happened to hear her speaking German one day. And I went up to her and I asked her, hey, was that German? and we started to talk a little bit, and I just asked her, I was like, hey, would it be possible, would it be too much work, and if so, please say no, but would you be interested in maybe in giving me some like some small German exercises? And she went all for it. Like, Spanish for me basically became do the assignment, get that out of the way, and then she and I did German exercises. It looked weird as shit. Like, everybody in the class doing their Spanish exercises, and then me and her basically learning German phrases, or her teaching me German phrases. And I've unfortunately lost most of it, but for some reason I still have counting. I have no idea why. I guess I just really took to the counting part. Get push origin plugin refactor. So let's get that up, and let's go ahead and get another pull request back into main. Oh my goodness. All right, I want confirmation from all of our German speakers in chat that you are not going to ridicule me horrendously, nor are you going to take offense to my utter destruction of your language. I await written authorization. Let's take a look here. Make sure that all of that looks good. This looks okay. Excuse me. All of that looks okay. I'm just kind of reading through this this pull request to make sure. So this is Shito's pull request was from his branch to my branch, and now I'm doing my branch back into the main branch. And I like what I see. Technically speaking, we do have some extra code in here from the pub sub, which was my fault. Pub sub shouldn't have been in the plugin refactor, but that's okay. That's okay for me. So we're going to delete that, and we're going to make sure that Shito gets credit in that merge, and there we go. All right. So let's come back over here. Get checkout main, get pull, and there we go. All right. Get branch. I'm noticing a bit of a. Oh dear. Oh, that's an interesting reach. Get branch -d plugin refactor. Get fetch. Okay. -p. So my it is very easily it is very weird now that I have my thumbs down here, and some of the keys, like, so I basically recreated a lot of the key bindings from the Preonic onto this keyboard because that's just comfortable for me at this point. And wolf, is it interesting. You will not be ridiculed, but I'll put your counting in Discord. That's fair. All things considered, that's fair. All right. Let's see here. Dieser Strom ist nun Eigentum der Bundesrepublik Deutschlands. First attempt. Sehe ich genau so? Second. Auf jeden Fall. Jeden Fall. And oder Russland. There you go. My gift to you. Oh boy. Oh, Phil. I appreciate all of you. This is what happens when you attempt to make an American who doesn't actually speak German speak German. Now, Phil, that's just rude. I am actually curious because I've never understood how to properly pronounce the A with the umlaut over it, which I'm actually not sure if that's called an umlaut or not. I've never known how to pronounce that, which makes me very sad. Same thing for they are called umlauts. Okay. Yay. I actually remember something. This has gone from Medj coding to Medj very slowly attempting to read German and failing miserably at it. Spooky. Rock's being mean. Holy shit. All right, so that Now, what does it mean, Rock? You got an F in German. Yeah, it was the back-to-back AE that I never understood either. And that's how German works. Oh, wait a minute. Why would that not be allowed? Twitch? What the hell? Oh my goodness. Shining Sun Bro, welcome, mate. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. How's progress on coding gone? Very well. We are, we kind of paused for a moment because chat is making me say German words. And you can imagine how well that's going for an American. But yeah, welcome back to the lab, mate. Steamboat Electricity Main Factory Building Company Public Service Society. Okay. So... Right, Irva? I'm just kind of staring at it going, okay, I see it in English, but it makes zero more sense than it did in German form. So it's a public service society that appears to have specialties in steamboats, electricity, electrical mains, perhaps, factory building companies. I got nothing. Jesus fucking Christ. You know what? If Erva's peanut brain, then I am tiny pea brain. Oof. Ouch. Alrighty. So, where this basically leaves us, as far as I am aware, is that we are now looking at actually implementing PubSub. So, which does mean that in order for PubSub to actually work, we would need to add our pieces here. So this would be client, and this is pub sub client. Pub dub? No, pub sub. Client is a pub sub client, and this would be. No, this would be only set channel. And this would be something, I forget what it was. Oops, doop-a-doop, and ship-a-doop. I feel like I should make these by default be curly braces, and if I shift it, then it's square braces, because I use curly braces so much. I feel like I should change that, but it's interesting that you kept the counting, because counting is one of the most scuffed things about German. Ironically, it's the thing that's stuck in my brain the most, I think. Which, okay, so I'll attempt to embarrass myself even further. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, oh yeah, and then I think it's, is it Dreizig? I lost it. But yeah, I used to, at least in my brain, I think what I ended up learning was what was it? Ein und Dreizig. Is it Dreizig or is it Dreizen? I think that's the part that's kind of getting crossed in my brain. Ein und Dreizen, zwei und Dreizen, etc., etc. Yes, Dreizig. There we go. Why would this, for reason identity, get the fuck out of here? I don't know why Twitch is being so rude about permitted terms, but weird. 31. Okay. 31, 32, 33. That, for some reason, that made sense to me. And it was really that kind of like 1 and 20, 2 and 20, 3 and 20, etc., etc., etc. Dreizehn is 13, Dreizig is 30. Got it. But I think the only reason that really stuck to me was at the time I had just failed Japanese, and the idea of like smaller plus larger, that kind of counting mechanism was fresh in my brain. Dreizig? Dreizehn? Got it. Okay. Slowly but surely, things are starting to come back to me. Ooh, what time is it? It is 9:19. Okay. So I have 10 minutes. My brain. So to kind of cap off on this piece, where we had left off with the pub sub client, which actually let me go ahead and grab from IRC. I want to grab this piece, and then I want to come back here, come down here, print that. Oops, that's not where I wanted to be. Come back down here. This is still not. There we go. Come down here, print this, delete that. This is now. Oh, quick fix. There we go. Yeah. And this is not IRC. Change in this. This is client, which is a pub sub client. And so we'll do more or less the exact same thing here. This will be client.outbound events. And so now we need outbound events up here. So outbound events is a channel of bot.event. If I'm reading that properly. Is a channel of, it's a send channel. So let me bring that back. You can see how much my brain is struggling with some of the keybinds. It is definitely turning my brain over, but I kind of like it. Okay, so that would allow us to register the PubSub client in main, and then register it as a bot, or register it to the bot. I will probably end up making a lot of the same changes that we made previously. But so where we left off with PubSub, as kind of with the last 8 minutes that I have here, where we left off with PubSub was the damn ping pong handler. Thinking about how I wanted to handle ping pong was kind of giving my brain a little bit of let me get rid of that. Was kind of giving my brain a little bit of a fold over. Because again, I think I've repeated this like 6 or 7 times up to this point, but we are now responsible for sending pings back through this connection. And so, but now that we don't have the bot doing the read, what I think we might be able to do is kind of similar to what we were doing previously, or what we are now doing in IRC. Read is now not a public method. Read is now a private method. Read is now a private method. Thank you. And we don't need to do that. We do still need to do the listen part. Yeah, we do still need to do the listen part, because there is a requirement on PubSub which says that immediately we need to listen to some topic. If we don't listen to any topic within, what was it? Connection management. Within 15 seconds. So if we don't send a listen command within 15 seconds, then we get yeeted. So we do have to fix that. Ow. That really kind of hurts, actually. And so a listen looks like this. Listen, data, topics is this, and then auth token is this. You know, I feel like it might be fine for us to just start with where we're at. And if we are not handling ping pong, that should be okay. I think that should be okay. So what I would like to do... And just to call it out, I do know that that PubSub does support bidirectional. I mean, it is a WebSocket connection, so you can send messages to the PubSub client, and we're going to. We're going to have ping and pong going back and forth over that PubSub connection. My earlier comment about not wanting to have the bot directly interact with PubSub is more or less kind of along that same line of keeping the PubSub as only an inbound client. I only really want PubSub to be the inbound client for subscriptions, channel redemptions, and so forth. But again, I am still looking at that as we might swap over completely to the PubSub client at some point. It really depends on how long IRC sticks around and how much consistency I want. But we'll get there. So now we need to do a listen. Data needs to be a thing. And I think this is where we left off in terms of GG. Yeah. I think this is where we left off in terms of the event. Yes. So this is a pretty consistent event object in terms of at least the ping and pong messages as well as the listen messages. That seems to be relatively okay, relatively consistent. There is a minor problem. We need the channel ID. I'm slowly realizing all the little pieces that we don't have right now. Yes. But inside of data is effectively going to be just a JSON formatted string. So what that means is that the top level data in this struct is going to be a string, but we're also going to have what is effectively JSON formatting or JSON structuring before we even create an event object. So I'm trying to think of how I would want to do that. So one thing we could do is the right for event is yeah, I think we may have to refactor this a little bit. Welcome in, Sorcery. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. Which technically the right JSON is going to do what I want it to do. So just for context, what's stopping me is not so much the right to JSON, it's more the receive from JSON that I think is giving me a bit of pause. Because when we look at something like, say, we go down to a subscription, the definition of a subscription message is very different. It is more or less a free form object. And so what we would almost have to do is on the PubSub, and I think Shito, you were the one that brought this idea up, that the IRC client, or sorry, the PubSub client would more or less have those transformers that would take data, the raw kind of string data, and attempt to deserialize or unmarshal that string into the format that it expects. And if it succeeds, then we know that, okay, well, this is indeed a sub event, and so we can kind of format that into a bot event message and send it back to the client to be sent off to the bot. What that looks like is a little interesting. Lurking because you got stuffs to be doing? He's okay, Sorcery. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Okay. The other thing that I think I need to solve first. I know I'm bouncing around a lot because I'm bouncing around a lot on PubSub to begin with. That's because Erva and Sorcery have something special, Rock. And if you wouldn't bully Erva, maybe you two could as well. Let's see here. But your brain's not working correctly. It's because I'm amazing. You are amazing, Erba. Just saying. You're all amazing. All right. So there's a thing. Channel ID. Channel ID is a thing that we don't have at the moment. Which is kind of a problem, to say the least. Oh man. Yeah, I think we have to do that first. I think we need to get the channel ID is by the get channel endpoint. Oh, now we also need a REST client as well. Oh, damn it. I knew there were going to be more things to this than I was anticipating. Okay. Get the specified channel object. So authentication none. URL. Oh, get channels by ID. I actually want to get the channel, and then I want to get the ID. There we go. Because we're going to be sticking a lot of things to this bot. You're not wrong. I mean, just imagine whenever we get to the, say, like Discord integration. There's going to be so many things that are attached to the bot. It's incredible. But thanks to Shito, we have a fantastic setup for doing that in a plugin format. So, all right. So we do need a required scope of channel read. Gets a channel object based on a specified OAuth token. Get channel returns more data than get channel by ID because get channel is privileged. Okay. Except JSON, client ID is a thing. Authorization. Oh, I don't have a client ID. Oh boy. Get Twitch Kraken channel. But what is the OAuth token? Oh, Twitch v5 is deprecated. Please use the latest version. Hello? Is it this one? I think it's this one, as far as I can tell. Okay. Twitch API reference. And we're back to the same spot. What? Channels. Where's the channels? Oh, dear. Oh dear. Get channel information? Maybe. Get channel markers, get streams, search channels. Okay. OAuth or app access token required. Okay. Query equals loser fruit. Huh, okay. You can type, Erva? I can't. That is a common problem with me. Get channel information, maybe? Broadcaster ID? No. No, that won't do it either. Okay. I don't want to modify channel information. I really just want to get... I'm really just looking for that one ID, which it looks like you can get from... gets information about active streams. Streams are returned sorted by number of current views. Oh, geez. Nope, so that's not it. Meh. Okay. Huh. Twitch. Oh, geez. Here we go. Twitch, get channel ID. Yes. But this is V5. Which bothers the crap out of me. And this is old. We don't want to look at that. Maybe it'll be in here. Oh boy. Right now I have Twitch verified, blah, blah, blah. You can use the get users. Just use the login query parameter. That's not what we were talking about, Barry Carlton. Good job. Twitch Helix users. Nope. That's not what I want. This is kind of what gets me about some of these APIs is that like the Twitch API v5 is deprecated, so please use the latest version. And more or less what I want is I want to just give you a channel name and give me back a channel ID. That's kind of what I want. Tiny Cat makes a return. But I'm not actually seeing any of that information. So technically get channel based on a specified OAuth token, but I don't know how the OAuth token helps us, if that makes any sense. Hello, Tiny Cat. What are you doing? She's just like dead weight over my arm. All right. Bye. Oh, sorry. Caught your tail. Oh. Because that is literally all that I want. I just want, for Medge Labs, for example, I just want the channel ID. I'm almost tempted to just get the channel ID and then store it somewhere. Okay. Ads, analytics, bits, channel points, clips, top games, moderation. Like, nah, my dude, I genuinely just want I guess I kind of just want this. Meanwhile, Tiny Cat in the background. There she is. What are you doing? Get down. Come here. There you go. There you go, Tiny Fluff. You're being such a distracting little bum today. I mean, I guess this is what we have to do. A cat that listens? Technically, all of my cats listen when they want to. Erva, why would you steal my cat? This cat brings me joy. Just look at her. Just look at her. She's just a cute little fluff. And you would want to take this away from me? I know we're technically 10 minutes over time, although technically I think we're 40 minutes over time if I because I think I set the timer for 9, but alas. I may have to play around with this a little bit because this is confusing me. So what I think I'm gonna do, I would really like for this to be automated. Genuinely, I want this to be automated. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play around with this API call to see if I can maybe formulate this to a point to where I can just give it a channel and I will get a channel ID back from it. I can then store that channel ID somewhere as necessary, and we can kind of go from there. And the whole reason that I kind of went down this tangent is because of the pub sub. Like, the first thing that we're going to have to do is listen to events, and then Ping Pong will very closely follow it. But in order to subscribe to events, we have to have the channel ID. So there's a bit of an element of, well, shit, this doesn't really give me, I don't really have the channel ID anymore. I just have the channel name. So why? So I'm going to need to get that first, store that, give that to the pub sub client. The pub sub client will then use that when it does its listen, and then we'll start to get those messages, hopefully, and we can start doing the unmarshalling and so forth. Question is, can we even say we're over time if we're all having fun? I mean, I hope we're all having fun because I'm having fun. All right. Hello, Tiny Cat. Would you like to come and say goodbye? Or do you just want to bite my foot? Seriously?
Come here, you.
Medj so now looking like the evil one of Inspector. Yes, hello. Quit biting me, you little butt. Yeah, I think we are going to call it there though, because it looks like I'm going to have to do a little bit of work off stream to at least work on the REST call, and I'll put that into a some kind of a REST client at some point, probably on Tuesday. How old is she? She is, what are you now? 9 months? 10 months? She's a baby. Like, I got her when she was 3 weeks old. So she was the little neighborhood abandon. Mama cat didn't want her, so I wanted her. Right, baby? These little paws. Chomp. She's a sweet little girl. And I mean, she's biting me, but she's not really biting me. She's just kind of doing the little, like, she chomps, but she doesn't, or she chomps, but she doesn't clamp. So it's just a little nibble. You sweet little girl. But, so, to the same vein of what I pulled out for in the Discord, I will, if I work on the code itself, I will do a recording of it. I believe I can publish those to Twitch. I think I can publish the VODs to Twitch. I will double check. But at a bare minimum, it will be on... it'll also definitely be on the YouTube channel. Yes, I do have an upload. Fantastic. But for now, we're going to call it there. So thank you all so much for joining. It has been a fantastic time. Thank you so much, Shito. Thank you again for the PR. I genuinely appreciate it. You really did catapult us forward. Have a good one. And to everybody else, thank you so much. Thank you for stopping by the lab. Stay curious, and we'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.